What's going on, guys? This is Mark from the Breakout Bulls. Follow us on Twitter at Breakout Bulls. So this is what we present to you. Here's what we think the next Breakout Bull is going to be. BRND. Check out the analysis. Check out why we think it's going to be the next runner. Here we go. So first things first, I like to establish the trend. So BRND right now on the weekly, it is coming in on a big downtrend, pretty heavy downtrend here. But you can see this week's candle so far, these two trading days, Monday and Tuesday, have made some pretty impressive gains. So looks like we're up 230% on the week already. So we've broken through the EMA, short-term EMA, and the medium-term 50 EMA, and we've closed above it. So if we look left over here, we've got some structure support, structure resistance. So if we look at where this came in here, around this area, a little bit higher than that. There we go. So you can see there on the weekly, formed a base down here. So this held its ground and just consolidated, and that was just a matter before there was a breakout. So you can see here, historic support turn resistance. Came through here, broke out once, dropped back down in, consolidated, tried breaking out once, no go, tried breaking out twice, no go. So there's a failed double top. Comes back in one more time, broke right through it. So this is looking pretty good. Another thing that I like to see is this right over here. We got some pretty impressive volume, really big volume. I see a high, as far as I'm concerned, 2-year high in volume, which is pretty great. So right now, looks like we've broken through to the upside. So this would be a nice possible reversal in trend here. So what I'd like to see is a confirmation of the EMA cross over the 50, just to get that gold cross and really back up this move. So you can see here, the high right now as it sits is 0.0040, and our close was 0.0033. So this is what I do. I like to look at the weekly to check out what the overhead resistance we can find, and then zoom in on the daily, and then that it just goes in zooming in time frames until I'm in the 2-minute, 1-minute looking for intraday breakouts. So here we go. We're looking on there. I'm doing this on Paint, a bit ghetto, but that's what works for me right now. So here we go. Let's get to the weekly chart. And let's get some numbers down here. So these highs were at 27, 27, 27 again. Yeah, so I'm going to say above the 27.0027, where we broke out here, 0.0028, that's where our MA was. We'll say that general range, that's where we broke out from. So this as it sits is our resistance. So tomorrow what we might see happen is, because it was such a big move, 65%, we might see some profit takers in the morning. So expect some support around the 0.028, where the 50 MA is right now. So this is where the high went of the day, 0.0040. You can see there was some resistance over here, kind of dating back right here. Where are we? this as our overhead breakout. Whoops. All right, so what are we looking for now? We can see, excuse me, that there's some support, some resistance right on over here in this area. So this could be a potential first target where we lock our gains. And then it looks like we have another pretty solid area around here. So that's what we're looking for with this on the weekly. So just to get those exact numbers, around here, we're looking at right under 0.1, 0.01. So the breakout would bring us around here. So not a bad profit target at all. And then moving up, what are we looking at? Around the 0.2 area on the weekly, if this thing actually follows through. So this would be interesting to see if it could break this resistance over here. Then it could potentially move up another leg over here. But that would take some time. But we're looking for a short-term play here. So back to the daily. Now we know our numbers. What do we look for on the daily? Daily is pretty simple. We see that it broke out right above the 0.27 area. So this high 0.0027, 0.0027. If you look back onto the weekly chart, you can see that that was pretty heavy resistance, which is broken out of, which is great. So now what am I looking for? On the weekly, breakout over the high of today, so 0.0040. We've got some short-term resistance here as well. But this move, I'm kind of looking to go toward the previous support, nearest previous support. And that's really how I kind of set the targets. And then we zoom into the daily, which is right over here. What do we see on the daily? So on the daily, we already know that there is an established overhead resistance at 0.27, 0.28 area. Okay, we see that there has been a golden cross down here. And we do see that there's been some whipshaws or in this area over here. So I'll just kind of mark it down. There's one where it crossed through, came back in. There is number 2. Came back in, came out really quickly. So that's not what we're looking for. This is what we're looking for, volume. Right here. This is the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing to see. So we know that it's topped at 0.0027 once, pulled back, tested it again, no go, and again pulled back. Here you see some whiplashing in and out over the 50 and under it. But here we see another break of the 50 EMA by the 13 EMA, and this time it's confirmed by volume. So this doesn't look like it'll be much of a fake breakout, considering the golden cross has happened already on the daily, and it just broke out of another historic resistance on volume. So this thing could potentially fly. So what are we looking for now? I want to see a breakout above this level right over here on the daily. And as we discussed earlier on the weekly chart, we'd be looking for, or is a nice target. Where are we breaking out up here? We could aim for an initial target around 48 cents. And then over here, 97 cents. We're looking for another resistance. So what you can do if you want to play it safe, if this breakout does happen, secure your profits around 48.004849. You're looking at about 20% there. And then just let the rest fly and see what happens with it. That's what I see on the weekly. Nice little pattern over here as well. Where are we? So you can see there's obviously, just looking at the resistance here, we've got a nice wedge sort of forming down here. There we go. So kind of no matter which way you look at it, there's a breakout out of the triangle, there's a breakout out of previous resistance, and you've got ridiculous volume. So I mean, this thing looks really bullish. We've got pretty high expectations for it. Immediate profit target would be around 0.048, with the potential to run to the high at 0.01, and then eventually around this area here, which is close around the 1.160s. So that's all for this. Leave your comments, tweet us on Twitter at Breakout Bulls.